Hi everyone, I'm Martin and welcome to another MH Runners Club coaching talk. Today I'm going to be talking about treating change with caution. Okay, so this applies to both new and very experienced runners. Now, when we start running, many people will have used the Couch to 5K app or followed the same sort of theory. Now, Couch to 5K is designed in order to build up your running in a sensibly progressive way without any big jumps in time or distance or pace. It does this in order to give you the lowest injury risk, meaning that people can become consistent with their running over 3 days per week, which is considered as the minimum amount in order to get noticeable improvements. Now, I often see people who start off not following these principles have a good week or a good few weeks before then either injury hits or people overreach and they plateau, or they can't manage what they set themselves, and then they start to lose motivation and their discipline to run. And then most people who give up their running do so within the first 2 months of starting out. Now, when Couch to 5K is complete, or whatever equivalent you use, it can then be a time where people have to decide on what they want to do next. Do they want to run further? Do they want to run faster? Or, like most runners, they want to do both. Now, this is again a crucial tipping point in their running development. Jumping up the distances too quickly or suddenly adding in harder speed sessions can be a recipe for injury, as the body's not used to the stress it's having put on it. Most common injuries are likely to be muscle pulls, catch-all symptoms such as runner's knee or shin splints, both of which can be caused by numerous things, or at worst, bone stress issues. Nearly all of these are caused by doing more than the person is physically capable of. So what people do forget, or they don't think about in the first place, is that running is a contact sport. Not in a rugby type of way where we're hitting people and things, but every stride that we are making, we're making contact with the ground with a force that is much greater than our own body weight. So we need to respect that, which is why building up with minimal changes is really important. We should be respecting our capacity for exercise. So are we physically strong enough to withstand the running that we will be doing? Are we, or have we, been strength training in order to build our tolerance for the impact forces that will be going through our legs when we run? Have we actually trained to be able to train? Okay, have we got enough in the bank already that then helps us move forward? We should be building our running within our physical capacity, okay, within our own limits. Now, runners often overestimate their capabilities until injury hits. Okay, they don't often think or focus on the problems that may occur from their running choices. Now, I know this because I've had periods of my running life where I've thought that I'm pretty much bulletproof. Okay, you don't think you're going to get injured, you're running really, really well, and then bang, something happens and you realise that you aren't bulletproof and you have to take a step back from your training. So try to avoid being too overly ambitious with sudden changes in your distance, your speed, or the amount of days you run per week or per month, and also adding in loads of hills and loads of intensities. Each one of these comes with its injury risks, and I've said numerous times to people before that no pain, no gain mantra is just dangerous to all people and all runners. When we want to increase our distances, we want to do so slowly. Okay, if you're wanting to run your first marathon or your first half marathon, give yourself plenty of time to build up your training and make sure that you have time to also include cutback weeks. Okay, again, without the cutback weeks, your injury risk jumps up a lot. If you want to start to include faster, harder sessions such as intervals, then build them in slowly. Don't suddenly run 10 times 400 meters as hard as you possibly can in your first session, because you're likely to crash and burn either during the session, but also when you push your muscles too hard for your current capabilities, you're again increasing that injury risk. Start an interval session at 3/4 effort and then see how that goes for a couple of weeks. And if you've got plenty left in towards the end of each of those sessions, then just start to push on a little bit harder each week. Now, you may want to be able to, you do want to be able to complete your runs, whatever they are on your plan. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier with the no pain, no gain mantra, your planned runs are not there to break you. Okay, now I see this in my other role as a personal trainer, that some trainers out there want their clients to be rolling around the floor in agony at the end of each session. Okay, if they don't feel like they want to vomit, then the personal trainer's not done their job properly. To me, that's just a way of getting people out of their own control, which then increases their risk of injury massively. Okay, we always want to stay within our physical capabilities. Now, don't get me wrong. Okay, hard work is what gets us improving, and I'm all for working hard, but working hard within our actual capabilities. We want to be able to complete our interval sessions or our tempo runs, knowing that we've worked hard and sometimes really hard, but we could have carried on that little bit longer if somebody like myself was stood at the end saying, right, you've got to do another 30 seconds or another minute or another 2 minutes. If you can carry on, then you're just still within your limits, okay, which is absolutely perfect. Controlled difficulty, okay, think of that as a good slogan for what you're doing. Controlled difficulty is what will build your improvements the quickest. Again, we want to build that difficulty over a period of weeks and months and years, the same as we would build distances over weeks and months. Okay, don't go from running 3 easy sessions per week to suddenly doing 2 interval sessions and then a long run at the weekend. By changing things in small increments means that you'll keep your injury risk at a minimum. Now, this allows you to be able to train consistently week on week for a longer period of time, and it's that cumulative effect of training that gets you fitter and faster. Now, this applies to experienced runners as well. We can be just as guilty, if not sometimes more so. We sometimes see workouts that a friend's done, somebody that we race against, or an elite runner on YouTube, for example, and we want to have a go at that and try and copy it. Now, remember, they've probably been doing that, especially the elites, for years and years and years. So as mere amateur runners suddenly sort of like jumping into one of their sessions, it might not go as well. So despite the proof that the majority of our running should be done at an easy effort, some people will then decide that they want to push their easy runs to be steady runs while still then trying to do their harder sessions as well. I've seen it in runners before that pushing those effort levels up on nearly all of their runs will soon end up in burning out, niggles starting to occur that impair their training, or injuries. Now, whether you have a plan written for you, whether you write your own plans, or whether you just wing it, okay, please listen to your body on a daily basis and don't be scared to ease off a little bit. It's a tough skill to learn, okay, but it's a very, very valuable one. By changing a hard session for an easy day, shortening the length of a run, or taking an unplanned rest day will not cause a loss of fitness. And if it means that you don't develop an illness, niggles, or an injury because of dropping back a touch, that means that the consistency of running will be more of a benefit in the long run than had you pushed that one session, completed it perfectly, but then had to take a week off because you were ill or injured. So for maximum training benefits, you want to be consistent. Week on week, month on month, year on year. Small steps up of distance, frequency and intensity. And if anything, always remember that whilst challenging yourself to improve is great, and I really do applaud that because I do believe in that, always stay within your physical capabilities when training. So, how do you feel about all of that? Are you somebody who likes to push themselves to the limits and take big jumps forward in your training? Do you like to look at other people's runs on YouTube or Strava and think, right, I want to have a go at that and jump in and try it? Or are you somebody who prefers the slowly approach and longer term thinking plan to improving? Please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching today. I hope that has resonated with people, and I hope that makes sense. Thank you for watching. I'll be back next week with another coaching talk. So in the meantime, have a great week of running. Take care and goodbye.